Hey folks, how's it going? Chris here from the Ministry of Dice, back again today with another one of my video presentation thingamadoodads. And in today's video, I want to share with you a few Marvel Dice Masters Secret Wars combos I'm dying to try. Cards that I've spotted in the spoilers or combos that I've had my eye on for a little while, and now it's out and in hand and I've got some and I'm brewing with it. I just thought I'd sit down and share them with you. So stick around. I've got 4 combos that I want to talk about and maybe get some audience participation comments on it in the comments down below. So yeah, let's get into it. Yes, folks, hello, welcome. So, as I said in the intro there, these are some combos and builds I've been dying to try from the new Marvel Dice Masters Secret Wars set. I've had my eye on some of these cards since they were spoiled. Don't think it's much of a secret for those out there who regularly listen to the podcast or watch this stuff to know that I've had my eyes on some of these cards before they were even spoiled, before they were out there. So I've been hungry to talk about a few of these and not been able to. But yeah, I've got a few combos, a few builds that are just personal choice. These are things that I'm like, ooh, that's caught my eye. I think there's something there and I'm going to want to make a team out of it. So I've got 4 to share with you today. They're by no means competitive. I'm putting that at the top of the video. So any of you folks out there who've seen the thumbnail and gone, ooh, right, time for some inspiration for my next competitive team, I'm not your guy for that. I don't think any of these combos I've lined up today are going to be, meta-shaking, meta-defining things, but they're just fun, casual fun teams that I want to give a go. And I've got quite a few, actually. I've just kind of prioritized 4 that I wanted to share. And one of the contributing factors to why these are the 4 I'm sharing is because they're not necessarily complete. There's some combos and brew ideas that I've been testing around with and brewing with, theory crafting around, and I've had a few of the bits and bobs out on the table, but they're not quite there yet. So I'd encourage you to get down in the comments below and give me some thoughts and ideas, or see if there's any sparks that are initiated. They're all modern, I think, today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all modern today, so I haven't got any golden combos here. It's all modern-based combos, but yeah, let's get into it. Let's share some combos. And the first one on my list is the new epic basic action, the Cosmo Cube. So it's a new card type in the game of Dice Masters, which is really exciting, and so I want to give an epic basic action a go. I've got my little rules card here. For those who are not familiar with the Epic Basic Action new card type, I'll give you the rundown. It says, Epic Basic Actions and their effects can't be copied. You can only use or purchase 1 Epic Basic Action per turn. After using an Epic Basic Action, return it to its card. And you can't purchase an Epic Basic Action unless you have an active character with a purchase cost of 4 or greater. So quite a lot of small print and caveat around Epic Basic Actions. But the game techs on these are just crazy kind of game text that I think will be super fun and anarchic even to have a go with. The one that's really caught my eye is this one that's on screen now, the Cosmic Cube. Its game text reads, switch life totals with your opponent. So what I think could just be really balmy and super fun to tinker around with is just to go hog wild on all those cards that we've ignored and let go dusty in the binder for years and years and years because they create life loss for yourself when you use them. Diminish your own life total down to some ridiculous number, and then boom, Cosmic Cube your opponent and get a little switcheroo on the go. So in the first instance, it's like, is this the card that's going to give Ronan the Accuser a lease of life? I'm thinking specifically, I've got the comment up on screen right now. Ronan the Accuser, treason. When Ronan the Accuser is fielded, lose 1 life. When Ronan the Accuser is KO'd, your opponent loses 1 life. Maybe not ideal. Might have to try and keep him safe. But yeah, is this the card that's going to give Ronan the Accuser a part in your Dice Masters brewing space in Cosmic Cube teams, We've got then stuff like Madeline Pryor, her global, pay a mask and a life. Once per turn, field a sidekick from your used pile. So yeah, that's a nice juicy one there. Then we've got Blink Warp Portals. I had my eye on this one. I tested her out and it didn't really work, but her game text reads, while Blink is active once per turn, when your opponent uses a global ability, you may pay a mask and 1 life to cancel that global ability. So I was thinking her with Madeline Pryor, like if your opponent catches on to what you're trying to do with your Cosmic Cube and then starts trying to diminish their life total so that you don't want to do the switcheroo, if you get what I mean, then you could use Blink to cancel their usage of the Madeline Pryor Global and lose a life yourself, or just generically use it to cancel globals that they may be using to get your life total diminished, you know what I mean? So yeah, stuff like that. Then this Loki, I've always had my eye on from Infinity Gauntlet, Loki Hero. When fielded, spin up to 2 target opposing character dice to energy faces of your opponent's choice. If the combined purchase cost was greater than 6, lose 3 life. So, just carefully select what you're spinning out and go for a higher combined purchase cost of 6 and lose yourself 3 life. All with the view of getting ready to do a Cosmic Cube switcheroo. And that's just a few I've plucked out there to show there's tons of stuff that lose your life as you go along. I was looking at one of the, there's a Mr. Sinister in the new set that's got some life loss attached to it that I got my eye on. And there was something else as well. What was the other thing I was looking at? One sec. Oh yeah, so that was it. It's not on screen right now, but the Poison Ivy, the rare Poison Ivy from the Superman Kryptonite Crisis set, the one that creates the plant tokens, and when a plant token is KO'd, a player loses a life. It says target player loses 1 life, so I was thinking, like, does that mean I can target myself and make myself lose life? And the Mr. Sinister, I looked it up just if anybody's interested. I've not got him on screen, but it was Mr. Sinister Bar Sinister, where you lose a life if you field him when you haven't got a sidekick out in the field. So, yeah, there's loads of stuff. That's not the extent of it, but I'm absolutely convinced that there might be something just really janky and fun with a Cosmic Cube build where you intentionally try and diminish your own life total with, I don't know, you can chuck in some force attacks and stuff as well, and diminish your life total with a view to hitting your opponent with a Cosmic Cube at some point. So, yeah, there's more layers to that, like if your opponent buys the Cosmic Cube out from under you and they start diminishing their own life and stuff. So, yeah, there's some things to think about in that space. But, I've lined up characters with good purchase costs to make sure I meet the epic basic action criteria and stuff. Yeah, I just think it'd be a fun one to try out. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I'm going to try and kill myself and catch my opponent out at the last minute. All right then, folks. Next on the list is a card that caught my eye, and I don't know why. This is probably the most incomplete combo of the lot because it's caught my eye, but I can't put my finger on why, but I think there's something there. And let me show you who it is. It's the Maker Betrayer, 5-cost mask with a game text that reads, when fielded, spin X of your character dice to energy faces. Then spin X target opposing character dice to energy faces. So, like that kind of swing in board presence that this guy could potentially represent is interesting to me, to the point of perhaps being a game finisher. I'm possibly reaching there. Well, in fact, I am reaching there. But, as I said, I'm not going for competitive. I'm looking for fun, janky combos to give a try. And I think there's something in that one. Certainly in Golden, the idea of doing a stat flip as well so that he's got the bigger juice to do a hit after we've spun everything down and cleared out your opponent's field is a nice thing to do in Golden. But that's not currently in Modern. But I was thinking about this guy that I saw in the Secret Wars set. I know, I'm trying to do a combo with a 5-cost and a 6-cost. You don't have to tell me how much of a reach I'm going for there, but Apocalypse Baron is a 6-cost bolt, and his game text reads, while Apocalypse is active, when you could use a global ability, you may play a bolt and a mask and field sidekicks from your used pile and bag until you have 4 sidekicks in the field zone. So I'm thinking like some big ramp up with some Dark Phoenix Global or something, or Rush. Rush is proving to have quite a lot of capacity since the new rulings. So sort of rushing up to an Apocalypse, getting Apocalypse out in the field. He's a pretty chunky, strong character just to camp out anyway. Then once I've got my Maker, which 5-cost is a bit less of a reach and easier to get your hands on in those circumstances. Once I've got the Maker, just plow all my sidekicks out into the field. Spin them all down to, I don't know, something like Bolt Energy, I'm thinking. I'll come to that in a second, but Bolt Energy perhaps. And just get your opponent to lose anywhere up to 8 characters, certainly 4 if you've used Apocalypse once. Certainly 4 characters to like really thin out their field and then steam in with Apocalypse and the Maker to do some good solid damage. But I'm thinking bolts because I'm also toying around with the idea of loading up with some cheap storms and the invulnerability global. So invulnerability, the basic action's got a global on it that says pay a bolt, target character die gets +1 attack, and then storm, when she's fielded, she deals 1 damage to a target character die, which is just useful, generically useful. But she's low cost bolt, 2 cost bolt with low fielding cost, so I can get her out into the field and spin her down to double energy. So I've got an abundance of bolts between my sidekicks I've spun down and my storms I've spun down to give the Apocalypse and the Maker even more of a stat bump. I'm just generally exploring, this is where I need the ideas, folks. So if you've got any thoughts as to how I can buff up my Apocalypse and the Maker in those circumstances to like really give my opponent some pain. Probably going to need some Gladiator Global, in case your opponent's loaded up with Distraction. They've got the Distraction Global on their side, and therefore they're just going to spin all their characters down to their sidekicks down to masks and use them. I don't know, stuff like that. But there's something about that Maker and something about that Apocalypse that tickle me fancy for giving a try and going for a little bit of crazy board clear with them. So, use your Apocalypse to flood your field with sidekicks. And it's better than your Instant Wars and your Namors and your Falcon Globals because your opponent's not getting stuff to load up on too. It's just for you to, and the churn as well, to get into the dice that you want in your bag. But then drop a Maker, spin all those sidekicks down to bolts, and then maybe pair it up with some storms and some invulnerability to maximize your power impact. I need to get it up to the 20. I need to get the Maker and the Baron, the Apocalypse Baron, up to 20, don't I? That's the challenge. But it's a combo that I'm dying to try. Okay then, folks, next on the list is the Fantastic Four. I'm certain I'm not alone on this front here. I'm just dying to get my teeth into some themey, single affiliation Fantastic Four play. I think they're a super intriguing affiliation that just with the affiliated cards in this set alone, you've got some exciting and interesting builds all within that one archetype. Now then, the big ticket item in this space is clearly the alternative win condition Black Panther. This is the super rare Black Panther Resisting Doom 4-cost mask with a game text that reads, while Black Panther is active, if you attack with 6 or more different Fantastic Four characters, you win the game. And in the modern context, you've got exactly 6. You've got Black Panther, Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Molecule Man, and The Thing. So there's your 6. So you'd have to use one of each of your available characters in your character and action slots. So you'd have to have one of each out, which is a bit of work to do. But I think going for that one, that big ticket item is, from janky combo space is the one to go for. But that's a super rare, might be harder to pull. I think there's also something in this guy here, the Molecule Man, Dinosaur Colorado. He's a 4-cost shield, and he reads, while Molecule Man is active, your opponent must pay 2 to block each of your Fantastic Four character dice. Actually, rules lawyers, assemble. Is that... So when it says pay 2 to block each of your Fantastic Four character dice, this may have been rules clarified already. Do they pay 2 for each one, or 2 in order to block all of them? I'm not sure of the... I feel like that could be interpreted either way. But nonetheless, that's, increasing the challenge. Is kind of a bit Madden Webby from back in the day. So I like the idea of steaming my Fantastic Four characters over and doing some stuff to maybe energy starve my opponent so that they can't afford to block the characters when they come across. And then there's tons of other stuff going on, like the Invisible Womans are great. Both of these would work well with that Molecule Man. You've got the rare there, which gives all your Fantastic Four and Sidekick characters +1/+1. And then you've got the super rare there, which has got a bit of removal, because when she's fielded, she forces your opponent to reroll 2 character dice, and then she gives all your other characters +3 attack until the end of the turn. So she could hit the field, potentially get rid of 2 nasties that you don't want there, or get them down to a lower level or something, but then the +3 attack is the key piece there because your opponent's having to pay to block with the Molecule Man. So either of those has got a space. I think you probably see more of the rare than you would the super rare because the 4 cost is a little bit more attractive than the 6 cost. The rare is easier to get your hands on than the super rare in terms of your pulls, and the +1/+1, while active, is a bit more consistent than a when fielded effect and all that kind of stuff. But still, you've got stuff where you can get those into play. Then you've got the Thing here, who, when he's fielded, put a +1 attack and +1 defense token on each of your Fantastic Four characters. So just buffing it up even more. He's got the Prep Global as well to help you with your ramp. Speaking of ramp, there's a little bit of mid-game ramp help with Mr. Fantastic, the 3-cost mask that says when fielded, roll a die from your bag for each of your Fantastic Four characters. So, loads going on there in the Fantastic Four space. And that's just a handful, a little sprinkle. I've not even talked about the control thing that you can use, or the Namor that makes sidekicks that might be a nice pairing with that Invisible Woman. There's tons of little kind of avenues to have a go at. Now, I'm certainly going to give it a crack in draft, try and draft a little Fantastic Four team, but I think a single affiliation constructed Fantastic Four team will be brilliant. And if you're playing Golden, why not slip a Human Torch in there with your Namor that fields sidekicks and wreak some havoc. So yeah, absolutely, I'm going to be giving the Fantastic Four a go for sure. All right, folks, well, I've been banging on for a while now. I said I had 4 combos today. I mean, there's loads of stuff I'm tinkering around with, but these are the 4 I just wanted to get out there and have a chat about with people because, if nothing else, they're conversation starters. And the next one I want to put on the list is this guy here, the Phoenix Force Cyclops, the uncommon. 6-cost bolt with a game effect that reads, when Phoenix Force Cyclops is dealt combat damage, deal that much damage to target opponent. And he's got the stats to back up that game text too. His level 1's 155, his level 2's 277, and his level 3's 3810. So you're going to want a bit of fielding cost help there. Robin Global, Molecule Man Global, something like that. But he's got the big hefty arse on that level 3 to really back up that game text. Now, what's nice about him is that you can use him offensively and defensively. He's a lovely, lovely deterrent to keep your opponents from attacking you, because if he's just sat there ready to block with a 10 defense, they're going to think twice about steaming over with their big hitters because they're going to take the damage themselves. But you can use him offensively as well. Like, I'm going to attack with this 7 attack, 8 attack Phoenix Force Cyclops. If you block, you're going to take as much damage back as whatever you block with. So by all means, have a go at KOing him if you want. If you want to hit him for 7, that's fine. If you want to hit him for 10, that's fine. Or let it through and take 7 or 8 damage. So there's so much opportunity there. Slap a bit of Overcrush on him. And the combo pieces. Let's talk about the combo pieces. So I definitely want to get him up to that level 10. So some spin-up mechanics, like the Mary Shazam, that's going to spin up non-villain character dice when they're fielded. Or the Supergirl, Kara Danvers, who's got the spin-up global where you can pay a fist to spin a character die up 1 level. Kara Danvers is a nice combo piece there in her own right, because she's just beefy, isn't she? A 3-cost, massive static character that you can drop in the field, and giving your opponent's chump blockers extra stats is a good thing in this instance, because you want those sidekicks that they might want to throw in front of that Phoenix Force Cyclops to have an attack boost to do more damage to Cyclops, to do more damage back to your opponent. I don't think I articulated that well, but I'm sure you're getting what I'm getting at there. So yeah, you need some spin-up stuff in there. You want to get him up to those higher levels of 2 and 3 with those chunkier stats. And then in set, there's some lovely combo pieces, because you could go crazy with a bit of force blocking or force attacking, whatever tickles your fancy. Or why not both? There's each of the globals are available in set. The force block is on Invisible Woman. The force attack is on the Mr. Fantastic. All of this is quite low rarity as well, common and uncommon. So you could get a 2-card combo with a Phoenix Force Cyclops and an Invisible Woman together super easy in a draft. But yeah, force blocks to attack with the Phoenix Force Cyclops and force your opponent to block, so that you're inevitably going to be dealing some direct damage through his mechanic. Or equally, force attack, get your opponent to come at you in your turn, so that you can block with him and then inevitably deal the damage back to your opponent. So yeah, just a fun card that I think can be used offensively and defensively. It's a lovely deterrent, but it's also quite aggressive as well. You've got other stuff that can support it, like getting it spun up or forcing attacks, forcing blocks, all that type of thing. If you're doing force blocks, throw a bit of Overcrush on him as well for, shits and giggles to really drive the damage through. There's lots of opportunity, tons of stuff to be done with this one. He's really caught my eye. If you really want to go the distance, get a Dark Phoenix, the rare one. Is it the rare one? Destructive Force, the one that when damage is done to her, she deals it back to the opponent as well, to really hammer it home. It's high cost stuff, so she's probably going to be around for a global anyway, you know what I'm saying? So there you go, Phoenix Force Cyclops with some combos there that I really got my eye on too. That one's going to drive Andy crazy. So there we go then, folks. There are just a little selection, a little handful of combos and builds that I'm dying to try, that I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into. Like I said, that's just a couple of my team builder save teams is full to the brim of half-built teams or revisited older teams where I've been slotting in new Secret Wars cards. I had my Spider Friends one open the other day, my old golden single affiliation Spider Friends, and was looking at slotting in a bit of Spider Gwen, bit of Molecule Man, bit of Spider Man in there, and there was just honestly, it's been a wild time. I've been really enjoying myself, going crazy with some brews and stuff, and getting together with people to give them some games. So let me know your thoughts on those combos. Also, let me know if you want me to come back and share some of the other ones that I've been tinkering around with. I can do a part 2 of this if you like. I usually only do one per set, really, but if you're up for it, then I'm up for it, so let me know. Otherwise, it's been my pleasure as always to have you join me here today on the Ministry of Dice YouTube channel. Thanks so much for swinging by and taking a look at my ramblings about my cards. I'll leave it there. I hope you have a great day. See you later, folks.